Welcome, Cassowary Coast, to CCAN's weekly news for our 2019 June the 6th edition. We look forward to showing you a few highlights from last week's newspaper and some of the action coming up in next week's newspaper edition. If you like an article and would like to see more content, please download and subscribe to the app in either Google Play or Apple, or purchase a newspaper from your local distributor. Golnay Elder joins Tully children in planting Sea of Hands. Last week was National Reconciliation Week, a 7-day period when Australians learn about our shared histories, cultures and achievements, and explore how each of us can contribute to achieving reconciliation in Australia. The week commemorates two significant milestones, the 1967 referendum and the High Court Mabo decision. On Friday, the local Tully community preschool and kindergarten hosted the iconic Sea of Hands installation in the garden area. According to Australians for Native Title and Reconciliation, the Sea of Hands is one of our major reconciliation community campaigns. First held on October 12, 1997, in front of Parliament House, Canberra, it was created as a powerful physical representation of the Citizens' Statement on Native Title. Guests of honour included the Reverend Auntie Marjorie Engine, and a traditional owner of the land, a weaver and daughter to the last Aboriginal king of the Golnay tribe, and Shane Nuff, state member for Hill. Auntie Marge delivered the official welcome to Golnay country, during which she graciously praised the educators for the job they do at kindergarten and the children themselves. As well as the children from the preschool and kindergarten, other older Indigenous children from schools in the area attended to help commemorate the event. One of the children, Layla, from the Tully Primary School, had something to say, and she was determined to get it right. She practiced and practiced, rewriting her speech until she had it just as she wanted. She said she hopes later in life to get a job in the media, specifically in front of the camera, and she was not afraid of the moment as she made her address. I've been helping the community since I was 8 years old, and I'm here to help kids understand what our community is. I'm here for the community and the school, she said before finishing proudly. I'm Aboriginal and Torres Strait. The children all had fun, especially while playing music for Auntie Marge and then during the planting of the Sea of Hands, and they were especially well behaved. But the star of the day was Auntie Marge, a gentle, soft-spoken elder who had all the adults in attendance knew by name. She seemed to enjoy the recognition she got as she told stories about the old days, and she's definitely seen a lot in her time. She estimates that she's almost 90 years old and that she was probably born in the 30s, although she wasn't sure of her birthday. She was chuffed when Nuff personally brought her a slice of damper. "Oh, I love damper," she said, and then continued on with stories about the things she'd seen in her long life. "As a child, we used to hide from the bombs in a cave near the Tully police station." She also spoke about the time she caught a barra that was as long as she is tall. "We sold it to the milkman," she said with a laugh. She then told us her memories of helping in the underground hospital at Mount Isa, which was built by off-duty miners from Mount Isa mines in 1942. It consists of 3 parallel east-west tunnels cut into shell rock and was designed to allow people to get medical attention even when the bombs were falling. Marjorie and her sister, Doris, who was unable to attend, are daughters to the legendary Jarek Engine, who was known as the last Aboriginal king of the Golnay tribe, whose land covered the area from the mountains to the ocean along the Tully River. In 2009, Jarek Engine had a bridge on Bruce Highway that crosses the Tully River named in his honour. Such was the family's stature in the area. jets rock Mission Beach one more time. Some good old-time Aussie rock and roll came to visit Mission Beach Resort last Saturday in the form of the Screaming Jets, whose Dirty 30 tour celebrates 3 decades of raging fans and chart-topping albums. Nearly 300 devotees, some old and some very new, turned up to celebrate what could be fairly be described as a party on both sides. About half of the crowd appeared to be original fans from the 90s, in their 50s and 60s, age-wise and able to belt out the lyrics and in perfect time with the band, creating an atmosphere of pure exhilaration. Some younger fans in their 20s and 30s also turned up, and a few fans younger than 10 years old, too young to be allowed inside the enclosure, watched from behind the fence with their parents, sometimes scaling it to get a better look. The throng seemed a little shy at first, reluctant to get too close, but lead singer Dave Gleason introduced the band's arrival on stage by belting out one of their old favourites and then announcing, "Just gonna do up me fly," to raucous laughter. That seemed to settle everyone down and the party was on. They started off quite lively, and the fans sent the good vibes right back at them, bouncing and swaying their way through the opening songs. By the second hour, the band was pure rocking it. In Gleason's words, 30 years of touring the country, 30 years of getting it on. Don't know if you think that's a good thing or not. The loud, boisterous crowd ate it up like he was an old friend who'd come to visit after a long time away. For sure, Gleason still has the charisma and energy of his younger days. After the show, we ducked backstage to have a chat with the band. 3 of the members looked spent, not surprising considering they'd just come off a tour of 8 shows in New South Wales, Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth and Brisbane, as well as being on the 3rd night of a 7-night tour in far north Queensland. Gleason, however, looked as fresh as when he walked onto the stage, as if he was ready to go back out there. You might even get the idea he managed to fit some clean living into his daily lifestyle, something we didn't dare accuse him of. Gleason told us that even after all these years, he still loves the moment. There are lyrics that, just as he's about to deliver them, he gets a chill looking into the crowd, watching them anticipate what's coming. Yes, I have favourite lyrics and I have favourite songs. Paulie Wassine, the bass guitarist who Gleason said is one of the greatest songwriters of Australia's ever produced, writes most of their songs and told us he's written hundreds of songs in his life, and still writes every day. He keeps a tape recorder by his bed and sometimes wakes up in the morning with vague recollection of having dictated an idea he had in the middle of the night. Most of them are crap, he admitted, but the genius of his craft is recognizing the diamond among them. He doesn't seem to have any plans to stop. Neither does Gleason, who turned 51 on Sunday. Retire from what? From having a blast, he said, noting that Mick Jagger, at the age of 75, is about to take the Rolling Stones out on tour. Listening to the band backstage, talking to Gleason, and watching the crowd during the performance, you get the feeling that this is like a going-away party for them all. 300 people just gathering around, playing loud music and reliving years gone past, reliving the memories of those crazy days in their youth one last time. Gleason is right. It's not time to quit. Mission Beach Resort should be proud of hosting yet another electric event for the local residents, and it promises more to come, including ACCA, DACCA, Carice at Eden, the Radiators and Pub Choir over the next several weeks. Clam Sandwich, a similar styled popular hard rock band from Cairns, provided a stellar warm-up session and were worth seeing in their own right. Local motocross riders tearing up the track. Local motocross riders Luke Weaver and Tyler Saatchi recently returned from competing in round 1 of the Central Queensland MX Series in Yeppoon, where Saatchi placed 2nd in 50cc and 11th in 65cc 7 to 10 years, with Weaver finishing 2nd in QMX1 and QMX2. This was followed by round 2 CQMX in Rockhampton, which had a field of 30 riders where Saatchi finished 5th in 50cc and 11th in 65cc. While Weaver finished 1st in both QMX1 and QMX2. Saatchi placed 1st in 50cc and 2nd in 65cc 7 to 10 years at the Mariba MX Under Lights event at the end of April. He recently turned 8, was one of the youngest riders in the 7 to 10 years age group, and has been riding since the age of 5. Tyler's father, Darren, who has a passion for bikes, gave his son a Pee-wee motorbike before the age of 4, which Tyler cruised around, and his love for riding progressed from there. Weaver has been a long-time idol of Tyler, which has also encouraged his own passion for motocross. He has supported Tyler in his young career by providing him with expert coaching and tips, by letting him train at his personal track in Marillion, and by taking him on the roads with him to compete at the CQ MX rounds. Weaver, who has been riding and racing since the age of 6, started on a Pee-wee 50 bike and is a member of the Tully MX Club. Weaver's impressive list of achievements in 2018 include King of the Goldfields, first in light and opens, and overall King of the Goldfields race winner for the 6th time. In the North Queensland Championships, he finished first in both lights and open sections. In 2017, Weaver also competed in the Hatta Desert Race in Victoria, where he placed an impressive 16th overall and 8th in his class. During May, Weaver and Sachi competed in round 4 of CQMX series in Proserpine, where Weaver finished first in QMX1 and second in QMX2, while Sachi placed third in 50cc and 6th in 65cc. Both boys also took part in the King of the Goldfields in Charters Towers, where Weaver again won all classes. Sachi was running second overall in 50cc's and third overall in 65cc's, but had a major crash at the end of the second day of racing. He broke his collarbone, fractured the top of his humerus, and tore his biceps muscle, so for the past few weeks has been recovering from his injuries and is expected to be off the bike for at least another month. At the North Queensland titles in Mareeba and in round 5 of the CQMX series in Bilola, Weaver won both classes in these 2 events. The 6th and final round of CQMX series will be held in Mackay on the last weekend in June.
I'm the founder of Kian Healing. I moved to Cardwell last October and I have started belly dance classes in the town. I'm actually a really enthusiastic dancer and I started the classes while still wearing a moon boot after smashing my ankle. Classes are awesome. It doesn't matter if you've got 3 left feet, don't know your left and your right, it's just a giggle and jiggle, which is the name of the group. We'd love for people to come along and experience this. You don't have to have any kind of experience at all in dancing. Belly dancing is an awesome form of therapy and it caters for women of all shapes and sizes. Short, tall, big boobs, little boobs, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your belly's like either. So come along, give it a go, you'll have a lot of fun. We've just had an enormous amount of fun out in the park. Where we've just done a 15-minute slot with 3 dancers who have only actually been dancing for a couple of weeks and a couple of other dancers who have been a little bit longer. Absolutely awesome, great crowd, and I just want to thank everybody for being there and supporting us.